This, in my estimation, is kind of a feel-good piece of legislation. There's some good things in it on the mental health aspect that needed to be tidied up, and we can still go further with that. But the tragedies that we've experienced recently has brought this to a bigger light, and the knee-jerk reaction is to call for more gun control. It basically impacts the law-abiding citizens of this state more so. The criminals will still have their guns of their choice. Those that are bent on causing harm to somebody else will still do that, whether it's by rifle, pistol, hammer, which seems to be more in vogue than the rifles. But according to the statistics, knives, well over 161 stabbings, deaths by stabbing in the state in 2011. So the person that's bent on causing harm to somebody will still commit that crime. But yet we've made the possibility of having law-abiding citizens become criminals, guilty of even as little as a Class A misdemeanor by forgetting to re-up your license in 5 years, but also possession of certain guns, rifles, because that's their choice of maybe target shooting or whatever they want to do in shooting competitions, and we've now made them potentially criminals. It's already been noted it would not have prevented anything out in Newtown, Connecticut. Connecticut, by the way, has an assault weapons ban. So much of this stuff is irrelevant, what we're doing. It's just, again, a feel-good. Anybody that goes home today and says, well, we've solved that problem is delusional. We're giving a lot of the citizens of this state a false sense of security in saying we've banned all these weapons and it's going to stop. It's not going to stop. There are going to be other avenues of destruction. You can go on the internet and find out how to make a pipe bomb. You can go to the low technology. It's been around for years and years and years of a Molotov cocktail. You consider the fact if that shooter in Connecticut had walked in with 3 Molotov cocktails, 3 quarts of gasoline, he could have ignited them and tossed them in the same period of time. And quite frankly, that really, really would have been a tragedy.
Hey, Andrew?
If a person had tossed a couple pipe bombs into that theater, that would have been also a tragedy. So I think we're kind of deluding ourselves if we think we've really solved a big issue here. We've only kind of complicated a lot of people's lives that are very much in earnest of safe storage, safe handling of handguns, and yet we've made their lives more difficult. So I can't support this. If it was a piece of legislation in certain parts dealing with mental health issues, I could. But we're avoiding a lot of the issues that are we're dancing around the edges of our culture, our changing culture of violence, the way we deal with violence, the way we deal with kids, dysfunctional families, mental health in our schools, and there's a lot of things all rolled in together. When I went to high school, we had shooting sports as part of our curriculum. And we could sign up for the rifle team, and we shot competitively with other schools. Many of my friends at school had their gun in the pickup truck because they hunted in deer season, they hunted on the way to school, they hunted on their way home. Nobody even thought about the danger of bringing a gun in school. It never was even considered. Today, if you mention the word gun in school, they're going to be arresting you and taking you down the street to have you analyzed for a mental disability. So I think we've come a far way of something that we should be doing. We're not the same culture, and there's a lot of things to blame, but we're not addressing those problems. We're not going to solve these problems if we changed a lot of things today. We're not going to solve them until 20 years down the road when we have an opportunity to teach our young kids respect for each other, not to be bullying in schools, and a lot of those things that we're all dealing with now, but we're dancing around the fringes on having some real solutions. So I can't support this bill. I'm disappointed in the way that it's come about, that we've suddenly have a message of necessity to deal with it. And the first day of session, it hasn't been vetted by the public. Countless calls to our office about just what's in it. You know, I'm not liking what I'm hearing, questions about it. So we should have had an opportunity to have public hearings around the state on this and let the public weigh in. Believe me, there's a lot of smart people out there, and they have a lot of good ideas that we unfortunately didn't have an opportunity to listen to. So I'm voting in the negative.